Don't come to Broward on top unless you want your shit stolen by the host of this ride. Sal Stunts is a fucking thief. Today is a story time about how I just got robbed last night at the Broward on Top hood ride. Before we get started, I just wanted to say this is my 2021 Mercedes Sprinter van. I literally spent every single dollar I had to buy this van at the time. Borrowed a couple bucks from my friend, made it happen, but at the time I assumed I was gonna make that money back quick and get back on my feet, but ever since then it's been tough. I know a lot of people are dealing with a lot of stuff in life right now with the economy or whatever the case may be, but this is my reason for being so broke lately. I have this van to show for it, but I've just been hustling really hard, people. So yeah, we're just gonna go through the series of events. What happened yesterday with me helping out a fellow rider pretty much resulted in me losing my backpack with all my belongings in it, and another rider on the ride is the one who actually stole it. I'm gonna say stole it because you guys can hear the story out for the way I tell it. Guy that stole it, or whatever you want to call it, he's welcome to tell his side of the story if he even cares to do so. But yeah, my stuff's gone and nobody's owning up to it since someone was willing to pick it up in the first place. Sorry in advance if this story doesn't really make much sense. I'm going to try to break it down and make sense as much as possible. We're downtown Miami near the beach, so I figured this would be a cool spot to check out. They got the Ferrari here. So you guys know I'm usually riding this bike wheeling everywhere, but I don't have the energy or the motivation to do anything but just kind of break out this story. This thing happened just last night. I'm pretty defeated, and I just wanted to get this story out here so you guys can understand what happened to me, and you know, it could potentially happen to you in a situation like this. So Broward on Top, it's a 3-year ride so far. Every year around this time they have it, and basically it's 3 hosts. You got Mitch, Sal Stunts, and Sloppy Stunts. I don't have any differences with any of those guys. I'm actually good friends with Sloppy Stunts, but the other 2 guys, I don't really, we don't follow each other. But I've never had any disagreements with them, never talked trash about them or any publicly issues with them. We're just not friends. And the fact that I come out here, I've been out here before, made a YouTube video on this event, and Sal Stunts actually personally messaged me on Instagram thanking me for coming out back in February 2022. So the first year that they hosted this ride, I made a video and gave them exposure for years to come when this ride comes up. Things have been tough for me, guys, financially and stuff like that, so I've been kind of out of the scene. You know, I can't afford to hit every single stunt ride. Being a bigger influence in this industry of stunt riding, if you don't happen to show up to an event and you're embarrassed to tell them you financially can't make it or whatever the case may be, sometimes people can take that as the wrong way and think that you're just dissing their event and you don't want to support it. But it's tough to tell people, hey, I'm a public figure, I got millions of followers, and I'm struggling day to day to try to stay afloat with things going on. With all that being said, guys, I have my 2021 ZX6R. I went ahead and tore it down last week and parted it out, and I have it for sale. That way I can just stay afloat. And the game plan right now is to take that money and use that money to keep growing the YouTube channel. And I'm in a tricky situation where content that I make is high risk stuff. And sometimes, you know, you could make a video that shouldn't cost you any expenses, but you'll crash your bike or you get arrested or whatever the case may be. And this is just the life I chose, so I'm not looking for sympathy in this. I'm just letting you know that stunt riding is not for the lighthearted as far as making content. You know, if you want to be if you want to be a YouTube creator and stunt riding is your choice, you just gotta appreciate the ups and downs. You got to embrace the ups and downs with this life that you chose. That's really why I can't do too much in this situation as far as retaliating or whatever the case may be. I took my 0304 out to Kroom Off-Road Park. So I was riding my street bike as a dirt bike off-road, made some insane content, kind of messed the bike up a little bit. As I'm driving out of the park Thursday, knowing that this event is this weekend, I was just kind of weighing out my thoughts here, and I'm like, I barely have enough gas to make it to this event, but since it's in Florida and I live in Florida, I'll probably be spending about 75 bucks to drive out here, and my buddy was helping me out with the hotel and everything else. So just listening to a good song, hyped after riding my bike off-road, I made the decision that I was just going to send it and wing it for this trip and come down with my buddy and make the most of this weekend. You know, if I'm pushing to get my content back where I want it, man. I can't just go and do some crazy stuff Thursday and then take the whole weekend off. I just need to keep applying that pressure and go to this ride and just have a killer time and capitalize on as much content as I can, quality content too. So that was my thing. I woke up Friday morning, 8 a.m. We left. We got here at noon Friday, which was yesterday. So between noon and 6 or 7 p.m. I was just linking up with all the local buddies that had their own Airbnbs. We were going to their house, hanging out, having a good time, grabbing lunch. And then right around 7 p.m. we met up at the main rides meetup spot, which was like this rest stop where all these trucks were at and everything else. We stayed there until almost 9 o'clock, and then the ride finally left from there. About 9 p.m. the ride left. Everything's great. I have this whole ride on video. You can see from the beginning I was just super hyped to be on the ride, having a killer time with everybody. You guys know I have the S1000. I slow wheelie it, so in the middle of the pack, probably less than 30 minutes into the ride, I find an Aprilia RSV4, which is an insane 1000cc super sport bike, and the guy has his tail completely ripped off of this thing. So I know that he's about to wheelie this Aprilia, scrape it, whatever the case may be. This is some insane riding right here. So I follow the guy, just hunting him down the whole ride, and the pace and the tightness of the pack was very unenjoyable, like really tight. I can work with it, but as far as just wanting to loosen up and kind of have your space, it was kind of impossible with this size of ride. So anyways, I followed the guy. We took a turn. I kind of lost him, and then all of a sudden I see him in the distance knee knocker wheeling the Aprilia. So I speed up, catch up behind him, and I start filming this guy doing his knee knocker wheelies, and I'm just super hyped. I give him props at the red light, pat him on the back, we fist bump, and I'm like, dude, I got an S1000. I'm so jealous right now that you're riding this thing in this pack. And we're just having a good laugh. And then I start filming a couple more people, and I'd say less than 5 minutes after I fist bumped the Aprilia guy, I'm in the back and I just see a big ball of fire in front of me, and I start to speed up knowing that it's a bike on fire and everybody's starting to surround it. So I'm like, get out of the way, get away from the fire. And I park my bike ahead of the fire, jump off, turn my fans off, turn the bike off, run up to the bike, and I glance at it and it's just engulfed in flames. But you know, I need to find like an actual road to ride, man. This is getting annoying. So the bike was engulfed in flames. I took a glance at it and remembered I had a full bottle of water in my backpack. So I just tore my backpack off real quick, ripped the bottle of water out on the median. So myself and about 4 other guys took the bottles of water, and we started dumping our bottles of water on the bike, and finally got it out. And then we turned it a little bit and realized that there was gas leaking out of it still. The bike's still running. So we turned the key off and tried to lift the bike up and push it out of the puddle of gas, which we managed to do. At this point, I'm picking up all the bottles, grabbing them in my hand, and I see that Sloppy Stunts and the owner of the bike are both trying to push this bike in the middle of traffic off to the side of the road. So being in that situation myself plenty of times and knowing how desperate you are to get your bike out to safety, I stop what I'm doing and run to the bike and start pushing the tail of the seat, and the entire thing is like foam and it's been burning. So the foam is actually melting my gloves to the seat, and I'm just like slowly letting go. All 3 of us are slowly letting go of the bike, like trying to grab it and push it, but also let go before our hands fully get burnt. And we finally pushed it to the side of the road. After we pushed it to the side of the road, my buddy is like right near my bike, seeing that I was stopped. He was wondering if I crashed or something like that, but I just jumped on the bike because the whole group of bikes were leaving and I didn't want to be the last one behind, and I just started riding away. So I'm not used to wearing a backpack, but group rides like this or out-of-state rides and stuff like that, I try to have some extra stuff on me. On this ride, I had a jump starter box because my 0304, I wasn't sure if the battery would die if I left my fans on, so I just wanted to be safer than sorry. I had my windbreaker. I had all the keys to my house and my belongings on a keychain. I had my wallet with my debit cards, my credit cards. And my debit cards, I have a business account for my YouTube channel, so it says Dankwheelie LLC on the debit card. My backpack itself had Dankwheelie stitched into it. No other things on there. No other logos or any other brands besides Dankwheelie on there, let alone my name and my ID, a picture of my face on my ID. Just so much stuff that links this backpack to myself, and all of it was completely gone. I didn't realize this backpack was gone until maybe, I don't know, 20-30 minutes into the bike catching on fire and pulling away, and I immediately just like my stomach turned inside out. And it took me like 5 minutes after realizing my backpack was gone to retrace my steps in my head where I might have left it, and I realized that I had left it where the bike had burned down. So at this point I'm thinking, who would know where that spot is? We're all out of towners on this ride, and the bike just caught fire on some random street. And I remember that Sloppy Stunts, one of the main 3 hosts on this ride, was one of the people pushing this bike to safety. So I just started mashing up and down the pack all throughout the people. Anybody that looked familiar, might have been a host or someone that's a local here, I'm just flagging them down like, hey, do you know where that bike caught on fire, this, that, and the other? And there's hundreds of bikes in this ride, so as hard as I want to scream at the top of my lungs, nobody's going to be able to hear me through all these bikes. So they all were just looking at me like I'm crazy. And I felt so desperate, man, to like get someone's attention that like has some kind of knowledge of the area to help me out here, because I knew that the clock was ticking down. The longer I let that backpack to sit there on the median where I left it, or potentially wherever I left the I knew I was just fucked. You lose your backpack on the side of the road in Broward County, yeah, good luck. That's game right there. There's no chance of getting that back, so I kind of accepted that thing was gone, and I still wanted to try. So the first gas station that we got to, I finally found the guy that's bike burnt down, and he was like, hey, this is the address. He texted me the address for where the burned down bike was. So I had some hope now. I had the address that I could go back and retrace my steps. So while I was there, I flagged Sloppy down at the gas station. I said, hey, can you please put on your story that I lost my backpack? And I got screenshots and stuff showing like all the stories and stuff he was posting, and thankfully he went ahead and posted that I lost my backpack. So around this time, I'm looking everywhere trying to find my backpack or anybody that has info on my backpack. This exact moment, Sal Stunts, the 3rd host, he's sitting at a gas pump on his bike with my backpack on his gas tank, and he said, whose is this? And literally, it's a black backpack with Dankwheelie stitched into it, and he's asking whose this is. He didn't send me a message, say, hey, this is some merch of yours, do you know whose this is? Or is this your backpack since it's got your name stitched into it? Like, nothing like that. He just, it's a lot easier just to go and post on your story and have 50 people message you and say, yeah, that's Dankwheelie's backpack, versus just messaging one person and saying, hey, is this your backpack with your name on it? Like, that is the first red flag in this story. That makes no sense at all. Why you wouldn't just reach out to me. So anyways, he posted that at about, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night. He posted that on his story, and we're at the gas station. So I made a decision to break off from this ride at this point. Once everybody starts leaving, I'm gonna break off from this ride and just go straight to the crash spot where the bike caught on fire, retrace my steps, hopefully find this backpack, and just go back home with my pride still intact. So we're at the gas station. I needed a drink before I left. I ran into the store after minutes of talking to Sloppy and everybody else, trying to get some tabs on where my bag is. There's like 50 people in this line to get drinks in the gas station. And by the time I stood in there for, I don't know, 10-15 minutes waiting to get my drinks, I'm like the second to next person to get checked out at the cashier. Cops start swarming the gas station, and I got 2 drinks in my hand. So I put my drinks down on the counter and just take off out of the gas station, and there's just bikes peeling out left and right, just like a typical movie scene. Cops pulling in, everybody's running with their heads cut off, and I start running on foot with my phone in my hand, dodging bikes and stuff like that. And I almost clipped a bike, so I like juked it last second, and my body juking slicked the phone out of my hand, and it smacked, I guess, to the side of another bike and landed on the ground. I picked it up, put it in my pocket, and jumped on my bike and started to pull out of the gas station. I didn't have my camera on. I was not like ready for cops to swarm us and stuff. The main concern, instead of swapping batteries when we get to our first stop, for me at that moment was just trying to get tabs on who might have seen my backpack or who might have had information on where that location of the bike burn down was. So I jumped on my bike, hopped in the pack, and I'm just checking my phone at this point to pull up the address of where the burned down location is. And at that point I realized when I dropped my phone in that scuffle, it cracked the screen and completely made it black. So there's no power to my screen anymore. I have no GPS. I have no communication with people. My backpack had my wallet and my keys in it. So I basically have nothing but a set of AirPods on my person, and I'm completely screwed. Like, I have no cash or anything. So at this point I'm like, I need to get back. So I'm looking around for everywhere for my buddy that I got the hotel with from local with me, and I could not see him. I went all the way to the front of the pack, couldn't find him. I went all the way to the back of the pack, couldn't find him. And then after about 30-45 minutes of just miserably riding, defeated, nothing left in me to try to find my buddy, I finally found him at a red light, stopped. And I was like, hey man, I have no phone, no GPS, can we please get back? And he said yeah. So at 10:30 p.m. when I finally found my buddy, we rode 45 minutes back to the hotel, and I finally got to my iPad. My iPad's got cellular, so I can use that as a cell phone since my phone's broken. I check Instagram, and immediately everybody's tagging me. 10 plus people are tagging me in screenshots and resharing Sal's stories showing my physical backpack on his gas tank, and he's asking whose is this, like I said earlier. So at this point I had a little like ray of hope, but I was also like reluctant to stay hopeful knowing that the backpack's still not accounted for. So I immediately start messaging Sal on Instagram, and I said, hey, that's my backpack, man, let me know where I can go to pick it up. And this is around 11:30 at night. Like as soon as I got back from the hotel, 11:15, 11:30, I'm immediately messaging this guy. You know, if it's common sense. If someone's got your stuff that you're missing, you're not going to take any seconds to delay messaging this guy to get it back. So that's exactly what I did. I blew him up. 11:15. Hey, that's my backpack. I need it. Let me know where you want me to meet you. And I'm watching. He's posting more stories, so he's obviously on his Instagram still, but he's not responding to my message. He's not responding to 20 other people's messages that says, hey, that's Dank's backpack, he's claimed it, you know. So I waited patiently at the hotel from 11:15, 11:30 all the way up until 1 a.m. These guys were still riding out, doing live videos and stuff like that, and he's still posting on his story. And then finally at 1 a.m. One of his buddies is like, hey, this is Sal's phone number, hit him up. So my iPad doesn't do phone calls, so I had to text all this stuff. And basically I texted Sal and I said, hey, this is Mike. I said, hey Sal, this is the owner of the backpack. And he's like, who is this? And I was like, Mike Dank. And he's like, oh, haha. I mean, I'll show you the screenshots of the text messages. Everybody was just being really short with me through text. Like, for someone that just saved the day and found my stuff, they did not have any care to like make it easier for me to get this stuff back. So I texted Sal and I was like, yo, let me know where you want me to meet for my stuff. And he's like, I gave it to my buddy Ghost, and here's Ghost's phone number. And it just turned into like the big pile of shit. So if Sal is like claiming to have my backpack, he's took a picture with it in his possession, and now he's given it to another random rider. I mean, Sal is one of the hosts of this ride, one of the 3 main hosts of this ride. And I'm sorry, maybe I just have different morals, but if I'm hosting a ride and if someone gives me a backpack, or even if I found the backpack on the ground and I know that it's someone's possessions, you know, I might check his stuff. I'm not a piece of shit. I don't have any issue checking someone's backpack to see what their information is so I can get it back to the rightful owner. I find it hard to believe that this guy just finds my backpack on the ride and doesn't go through my stuff to see if there's valuable shit to steal, or B, go through my stuff to figure out which rider on this ride the stuff belongs to. Instead, no, the smart thing to do is to give it to one of your random buddies, Ghost, who takes my backpack. And I go here and text the guy and I was like, yo, Sal says you have my stuff, where do you want me to meet you at? And he's like, oh, well, I mean, I'll try to like rephrase, like I'll try to word out how he like had this conversation, but I'll just post a screenshot so you guys can like see. The guy just was not helpful at all. The entire text message was just like he was being short and shady and just not giving me any information at all. Like, the way I put it is I had to pry out any information as far as getting my stuff back. So basically this dude took my backpack, left his bike at some sketchy storage unit apparently, and just took my backpack, and instead of leaving it with his stuff on his bike to give it to me tomorrow when we see each other on this ride today, he leaves it out front of the storage unit, quote unquote, on top of a trash can in the most sketchiest area I've ever seen, and says, yeah, this is the location. Doesn't even give me an address for the location. He just gives me like a freaking breadcrumb trail, cookie trail, or whatever the hell you want to call it, of like circled GPS maps. It's just a mess. So I'm just trying to be as optimistic as I can, and I told my buddies like that backpack is gone. Like, in the back of my head I already knew it was gone, but my guys are trying to like cheer me up and say, hey, let's go get it. So lo and behold, 3 a.m. the guy finally gives me the address to go pick this backpack up, and we go on this freaking scavenger hunt. No actual address, just an idea of where it might be at, and then just mashing through this sketchy pitch black storage unit to the all the way back unit, all the way in the back left corner. And he sends me a circled building, and that circled building I checked up and down, left and right, all around this area, and there's not a sign of life, a sign of a backpack or anything besides this one old man who's basically like a hoarder that lives at this storage unit. He's got all these like knickknacks and stuff, just a bunch of junk piled up on top of each other, I'm sure you know. And I avoided interacting with this guy, assuming like my stuff had nothing to do with this little pile of stuff. So I take a picture of this location and I send it to the guy Ghost, who's telling me where it's at. He knows exactly where it's at. It's right on top of this thing. And I said I checked all this spot, and he circles this area. He's like, check this area right here. So at this point I'm locked in. I don't acknowledge the old man that lives there with all the hoarded stuff at the storage unit. I just lock on to the spot the guy circled in the picture, and I start going and grabbing stuff on the spot that he circled. It's like a trash can. I start lifting up the trash can and digging through this junk, and the guy's like, hey, that's my stuff. And I'm like, all right, this is just like super weird now. This old guy that's like kind of delusional is like claiming all this stuff is his stuff, and now this guy that's texting me is like, hey, this is the area where it's at. So basically he circled this guy's possessions and said, this is where your backpack's at, on top of this pile of stuff that this guy owns. So I take a picture of this guy's storage unit with the exact spot the guy circled where my backpack should be, and I send him a picture of the box fan with my backpack nowhere to be found. And he's like, well, is there a guy around there that you can talk to? Basically saying like, maybe the guy that lives around there or that was around there might have seen who stole it. So this guy Ghost is completely checked out of taking any accountability that he put my backpack on top of this trash can, and now it's completely gone. And I said it's stolen, man, and he hasn't said anything since then. So that's where I'm at. So the old man's like freaking out. He's like, why are you taking pictures of my unit, and blah blah blah. He's getting all defensive, and I'm like, look dude, I don't know who you are. I'm not trying to be here right now, but a guy that I'm text messaging is sending me circled pictures of your unit right now where my backpack is supposed to be. I'm not assuming anything with you. I'm just trying to get my stuff back, man. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm trying to get my shit back. It's nothing against you. It's just not a good scene right now, man. Like, I don't know what to do besides take the information from this Ghost guy that's telling me where my stuff's at. So yeah, the guy starts getting defensive, and he's like, I'm a U.S. Marshal, this, that, and the other. I have security cameras. He's like, you're getting aggressive and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, dude, whatever. So I finally just fully accept defeat, and I'm like, it's gone, dude, whatever. Guys like grabbed my shoulder, and so it was getting escalated to where I was about to get physical, just because I'm losing my temper and patience and everything else. I'm just completely defeated. It's past 3 a.m. at this point. I have my buddies that went out of their way to help me out and take me to this location that this random dude sent me to get my backpack, and there's absolutely nothing there. So my friends are pissed off. I'm pissed off. It's just everybody's just completely just fed up with tonight. And this is the host of the ride of the event I spent my time and gas money on, that's supposed to look out for people that come to out of state or out of city to come here and have fun. I mean, this is a guy that had my stuff in his possession and just completely let someone else take it, or he took it himself. But the fact of the matter is, man, nobody is speaking up for having my backpack in their possession and then it completely being missing. And the sketchiest part about this story, this is where the shit gets juicy, people. Sal Stunts posted that picture of my backpack on his bike's gas tank. This was him taking the picture on his bike of my physical backpack. So at 3 a.m. when I went to this guy's storage unit, the final climax of this story, to finally get my backpack after looking for 4+ hours, would you be surprised to know that this man deleted the freaking story post of the picture of my backpack on his bike? He's got 20+, I don't know, 30+ stories. He's the host of the ride, so everybody and their sister's tagging him on this thing. It takes you about 15 minutes to scroll through someone's story with all these little dots you can see at the top. He's got so many stories, but he has the time in his day to specifically go and delete the story showing that he has possession of my backpack that is now fucking lost. So I don't care what your opinion is on me. I don't care what your opinion is on them. I don't care if this changes your opinion. All I want you guys to know is that Sal Stunts is a fucking thief. And anybody involved in this shit is a thief. They have nothing to say for themselves. The way I look at it is, he had possession of my backpack. I don't know who Ghost is. Literally Ghost, in the sense that nobody knows who the hell this guy is. Ghost isn't gonna stick up and say, hey, I messed up and I had your backpack at one point and now it's stolen or it's lost. Like, nobody's gonna stand up and say that. So this is a sequence of events. A guy crashed his motorcycle, it caught on fire. I threw my backpack down, pulled out my water, put his bike out, pushed it to the side of the road. I was flustered in the moment with adrenaline pumping, left my backpack there. Yes, I'm an idiot. That was my fault. I will completely 100% own up to it. But having some kind of benefit of the doubt with our riding community, especially people bonding out of state together to do this ride, I had some kind of ray of hope that the right person would grab my fucking backpack. And you know, I try to be optimistic, man. You know, if things aren't going well for you financially, mentally, whatever the case may be, the worst thing that you can do is just stay in a funk. So this past week, man, I've been grinding. I barely had enough to make it here and they fucking burned me for no fucking reason. Use my story as an example of what not to do. I messed up, man. I was gonna bring a lot more stuff in that bag, but something told me not to. But I don't know, dude. That backpack's not coming back. Sal Stunts is a fucking thief. I have no intentions of coming back. I have no ambition to ride here. I didn't want to be out there today. So if that was your plan, you know, to have a guy that was here minding his own business, showing love to anybody that was interacting with him, just to take his shit, just shit on him so he can't ride today on the main ride, congratulations, mission accomplished. But just know, man, I would never do this shit to anyone like this. The more I think about it, the more it's just idiotic and stupid, man. I'm gonna have a video of the night the Aprilia burned down, and just knowing that my backpack was stolen throughout the ride. And yeah, I don't know, people. I'm gonna keep chugging out these videos. These people want me to quit. They kick me while I'm down. I did nothing to them for them to wish this kind of harm upon me, man. But what they'd want you to do is just stop. I'm gonna keep pushing, people. I'm pretty down right now, but get back home, hang out with the right people, and keep chugging. All we can do is keep going. So right here, I'm gonna paste a comment with the story written out, just so I could get my thoughts together while I was replacing my cell phone this morning. Feel free to read this and you'll kind of get a better idea of what's going on. But hopefully the screenshots and this writing and just the way I was explaining it kind of gives you an idea of the grimy shit that happened to me by another fellow rider, another brother on twos. Couldn't just leave it there. So anybody gullible to think that this was an accident or a mistake, I want you to know this is fully intended. The way that these guys have no remorse for my stuff being lost after having it in their possession, they had no care at all. Don't come to Broward on top unless you want your shit stolen by the host of this ride. Any way you slice this story, whether you're a friend of his or you're not, it's hard to see some kind of positive in this and think that he was doing the right thing any point in the story. The dude knew what he was doing, didn't take any kind of second or care to get the backpack to me, ignored me completely, and just fucked me over, like, for no reason. So I'll go ahead and leave a screenshot of one of the messages he sent me a year ago. You know, how do we go from him praising me to coming out and supporting his ride to purposely sabotaging me and just ruining my trip for no reason at all? Hope you enjoy the clout, man. Shout out to Sal Stunts, man. Drama. Hell yeah. Hopefully you get some good numbers off this, and your account blows up because you had beef with Dankwheelie, and Dankwheelie's accusing you of stealing his backpack. Gives you all the exposure you want, and Broward on top 4 is bigger than Broward on top 3. It's a crazy time. Just don't leave your backpack on the road, because the host of the ride will steal it and then not hold themselves accountable, or anybody at that fact. But yeah, life lesson learned. People are trash. And Sal Stunts, you're one of them.